And I appreciate the kind words. I just want to make sure that I keep on time. I want to make sure Cooper knows that I'm not a real liberal with my time. Listen, though, I got to start, man. I'm telling y'all what now. You talk about, y'all know I'm from Butts County, don't you?
Yeah.
Born and raised there, still live there. Some people say it fits me. But that's okay. That's all right. I only ran for the seat one time before this time when I won. But I want to start, y'all, it is an honor to serve you in Congress. It is an honor to serve this district. We live in the best district in the entire country.
Yeah.
We have got an unbelievable education in this district. We do need to make sure that the FCA stays,
Yes.
and we need to make sure that our public schools are held accountable for things like that. And it's good to see people. And I'm going to hit back on this. Little Brooks, you brought up a lot of good things, kind of the things that I want to talk to you about real quick tonight. And kind of I want to start out with kind of an overall view of the 118th Congress, kind of what I've been seeing going on up there, and then kind of wrap this thing into what we're seeing. And Captain Johnson, I'm not going to start without telling you, we got your back.
Yes.
Y'all are the front line. The stuff that you see, the things you have to put up with, the fact that they want to make you personally liable for some of this mess is unconscionable.
Yep.
That's just some of the mess and the crap that we've been seeing up there. But we're going to change things real soon. And we're not only not going to defund the police, we're going to defund the Democrat machine over there. We're going to fund them. Listen, everybody knows, I know you know, like I know, we've got open borders. We've got an administration that has been on spending us into oblivion with this Green New Deal crap giveaway. We've seen the fact that they want to attack our police. We see that we're buying oil from our enemies so that they fund wars against our ally, and then we're funding our ally, so we're funding both ends of the wars. But and I don't want to get into all that because I think all y'all know that. We all know that. If you don't, you feel it right back here in your pocketbook. But I want to tell you a few things about what I've seen, and it kind of what I was talking about Saturday night. If you happen to come to the barbecue, because I think this is so important, and this just tells you why it is so important that we finish the drill on top in November. We sit in hearings. Now, I'm on 3 full committees, 7 subcommittees, so I sit in a lot of hearings. And a lot of times we're out across the country. I've been fortunate. I've been over in the West Coast. I've been up Minnesota, down on the Arizona border, Louisiana. You name it, I've been all over this country. And what I want to tell you is the administration is showing you one thing to the point where they really want you to just throw your hands up and say, man, I've had enough of this mess. Just do whatever you're going to do. Just leave me and my family alone so that we can try to make ends meet. But y'all, there is a bigger picture at play. And Steve Middlebrooks is hitting the nail on the head. This group, this administration, they are so freaking socialistic, left, woke, DEI. They are power hungry, and this regime wants to take over every aspect of your life. We see that when we're sitting up there and we're having hearings with people. We're out on the West Coast and they're wanting to tear down Ford. These are the same people that are telling you they want you to drive EVs, but yet they want to tear down our power grid on the West Coast because they only have a 98.5% rate of success for salmon going up down the street. That's not really it. It's not it at all. If they really wanted you to drive EVs, they'd let you go up there and mine for the critical minerals. We got more critical minerals on the earth in Minnesota than the rest of the world. Nah, they don't want to do that. They'd rather you get it from China. They'd rather us send all of the critical minerals we got right now to China. Let them man, process it and send it back. We're down to where we don't smelt anything in this country. We don't produce our own oil. Heck, I was just off the coast of Louisiana 2 months ago. Chevron oil platform out there, trying to get their permit to where they can drill oil, which by the way takes 8 to 10 years now, billions and billions of dollars. That oil platform, along with the rest of them out there, produces 80% less carbon than anything in the Middle East. Anything. We're #1 in the world. We know how to do it better than anybody else. They don't really want us producing oil. No, there's a reason you got high inflation. There's a reason that you've got to the point where you've got 7.5% mortgage rates. They don't want you driving anything. They want you riding in mass transit. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in a hearing from a Democrat sitting across from me. Well, you know, in reality, we don't really even want you to drive an EV. We want everybody to be in mass transit. I'm like, hell, bring your fanny down to Butts County and tell me about mass transit. Mass transit in Butts County in the 10th district is a soccer mom taking the kids to the park to catch sports. We don't want to ride in a bus. That's why we didn't move to Atlanta. We're not interested in that. But that's just part of it, y'all. The DEI side of this thing has gotten so out of hand that you saw it about 4 weeks ago when we almost lost the former president of the United States. That was DEI at its finest. A woman that took charge of that agency, and we see this in every agency, y'all. It's in everywhere I turn up there. She was bent on making sure that 30% of the Secret Service were female.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I don't care I don't care anything about you as long as you're qualified to do the job.
Amen.
But no, we're not going to do that. Oh, heavens no. We want transgender. We want any type of gender. You've got a Department of Transportation. Y'all realize I wasn't up there 3 weeks when the whole airline industry shut down for almost 2 days. Over NOTAM, a 30-year-old software, out-of-date program that needed to be updated decades ago. But old Mayor Pete, in his infinite wisdom, decided, no, let's spend tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of pages to rewrite a rule and rename NOTAM, which is Notice to Airmen, to Notice to Air Missions. We don't want to offend anybody, do we?
Are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. But that's not where it ends. See, when you have a regulatory agency like that, and the Department of Transportation is pretty damn blame tough now. That's one of the reasons I went up there, is because we're getting rules and regulations and taxes about to kill small businesses in this country. But no, when you have that type of agency, any of those agencies, the people that are most regulated under them, what are they going to do? They're going to try to conform. If that's the way we need to go to continue to garner favor, we're going to do that too. You saw that in that train derailment. Heck, I called that. Mayor Pete was sitting almost as close to me and you, Gordon, because I'm a freshman. I sit on the front row. And he and I were talking. And I told him, I said, man, I could see that all day long. Wheel bearing failure. Oh, you don't know that. The heck I don't. And the problem is, if you'd have looked at the annual report, the letter from that railroad company, that they put out to their shareholders, the very first freaking paragraph said, we are going to concentrate on diversity, equity, inclusion. What it should have said is we're going to find the best damn mechanics to keep grease on the fifth wheels so that we don't destroy towns. That's it. I'll give you another one. Airline builds airplanes. Door's been falling off. Same thing. I know some of the people that work out on the West Coast building those things, and they've had enough. And I think the CEO of that company finally got the light too. Finally turned on. That you need to hire people that actually can do a job, and not just people that check a box. Because if you're going to continue to do that, Lord help, this place is going to go downhill. So it's already going downhill. They're already pushing it so far left, and they're trying to do that part behind your back, under the radar, so that you don't notice it. All the while they destroy our economy out there. Now, as far as the 118th, and I don't know if you want to do questions and answers or not, but we'll do some. But 118th, y'all realize we've sent almost 200 pieces of legislation across the Senate. They won't take up squat over there. They're not going to. You know that big bipartisan border bill that they were talking about? If they really wanted to pass that and send it back to the House, hell, they could have picked up H.R. 2. We sent it over. It was the second thing we sent. That's why it was H.R. 2. That was our border security bill we sent to the Senate. They could have picked it up, stripped it clean, put their little bipartisan stuff, whatever they had or claimed they had, and sent it back to us. Did anybody hear them doing that? I didn't. They don't want to pass border security. They are fine and dandy having that border wide open so that they can get people across here and hopefully figure out how to get them to vote. And we got 82 people in here, and I hope every one of you got your eyes open, because we're going to need it. You're going to need to be vigilant about it. We've got your Second Amendment. I'll tell you how they're trying to destroy your Second. I know I'm talking.
You're fine. That's all right.
I'll tell you how they're trying to destroy your Second Amendment.
Waiting on you 3 months.
I was in Wisconsin, federal lands up there. You know, we all hunt federal lands. The way that operates up there, if you log the federal lands up there, you've got to leave the roadway that you logged on. Heck, it almost looks like I-75 out there without the traffic. You can't take vehicles up and down that federal road anymore. They have to block it off as soon as they get through logging. They don't want you hunting on federal lands. That way, when Junior or Little Miss comes along and you want to buy them a gun, you know, the odds are you'll say, well, you know, we can't hunt. We'll just skip that right now. That's their soft way of getting the Second Amendment out of it. Out of it. First Amendment rights. Get rid of FCA.
Yes, yes.
It's everywhere you look, in every agency you look at. And for the life of me, I can't figure out where these people are spending their dead blame money. The Department of Interior up there, which has Bureau of Land Management, which is part of what I was up in Wisconsin for, we have jurisdiction over all of the Indian tribal lands. Now the ones over here with the casinos and the ones with casinos, they're doing fine. But the one down on the border at Cochise County where the wall stops, I was right there. You know, we're not allowed to go on those lands. We're not, I think you can have 2 police officers maybe go on the lands. And they can't use, they've got to use non-motorized horseback. The cartels have taken over all of the Indian reservations, tribal lands we got. Yes, they sure have, except for the ones that are doing so well with the casinos. They've infested it with drugs, fentanyl, got everybody hooked on drugs, turned the people into slaves, sex trafficking, and running their cartel business out of there. What's this administration and DOI doing? Nothing. Nothing. Not going to. If they did, they'd have to fix that border problem.
Yes.
They're willing to let that go. That's how bad this stuff is up there. Now, I got in trouble the last time I spoke. Brandon said, Mike, you didn't finish your sermon. You told everybody how bad it was, and then you walked away. But there is a promised land. There is a day of reckoning.
Yes.
And there is hope. But that's where we all have to be in this thing. You've got to be in it too. You know, you're right. For 8 years down there in Butts County, election season roll around, I'd say, all right, man, we got to have some poll workers, we got to have some poll watchers. Boom. Everybody was gone. We need you. We need you sent out there. We need to make sure that you know that you can play a role in this, because not only are they going to hit you at the voting precincts, but y'all, they're out there right now destroying platforms on social media. they're deplatforming conservatives, taking them off.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they're demonetizing these people.
I'm sorry?
Demonetizing.
Oh.
They're changing things on Wikipedia. The left is not going to stop at anything. It's the ends justify the means, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they say about that. So what we've got to do is make sure that we tell people and remind people, this isn't that hard. We got to remind people what it felt like. Man, what it felt like, good God Almighty, the dude, the number one thing Donald Trump said, you ain't going to ever get tired of it. And that's winning, because we were. And that scared them to death.
Yes.
When you give somebody freedom and the individual responsibility, that's contagious.
Yes.
People want that. They don't want the government handouts. People want to feel good and proud about what they did and how they provide for their family. And all you got to do is just compare the 2 administrations. And when you get through, ask them if they went and voted. Houston's exactly right. October the 15th is my dad's birthday. That's early voting. Early voting starts that day. You start getting absentee ballots next week.
Yes.
If you can't make it, you need to put an absentee ballot in. I promise, I have not stopped with that post office. Thank goodness that thing went off. I couldn't stand that picture. I've been working on those post office issues, and actually, unlike Senator Ossoff, I text with the joy. I can call him on the phone. When you're dealing with 9 unions across the country, 2 here in the state of Georgia, and you're trying to technically make something advance something, get out of an old bottling plant where you hand sorted mail and go to automation, things get rough, and they did, and that was uncalled for. And management needed to hear it. He did. He heard a lot from me, and he's going to continue. But if you got to vote absentee, get that thing turned in and make sure it gets turned in. You can follow an absentee ballot. We already know who gets absentees. We can go request that every day. And you can chase those ballots. That is very illegal. And we need to be engaged in that. We need to make sure that you hound people until they go vote. Because if you don't, oh man, y'all, I hate to tell you what the 119th is going to look like. But I'm gonna leave you with this, and then we'll go to questions. 65% of the makeup of the House of Representatives on the Republican side are America First representatives. That means we got elected since 2016 all the way up through this last election. Now what I'm gonna do from now until November 5th is up, I'm going out there across the country with 8 other candidates. And I'm not just going out there to hand a check, take a picture, break somebody's camera, and come home. We're going out there, we're staying for at least 2 days. And I'm knocking on doors, and I'm telling people when they come to the door, hey, I'm Congressman Mike Collins, and I need your help.
Yes.
I need so-and-so to come to Washington to help me. Because I needed some good, conservative, Christian, business people, America First, 100%. You send them up there, by God, we'll turn this country around, we'll get it back on track. You can help too. You can help just right here by making sure that you help get people back to those polls and vote. You do that, we'll pad our majority in the House. We'll flip the Senate.
Yes.
Trump's going in the White House.
Yep.
And instead of having the 119th look horrible with the most left-wing ticket that's running against us, y'all, we actually have the chance to make history. We can make history in the 119th Congress. We can change the trajectory of this country, not just for 2 years, not for 4, I'm talking generations.
Yes.
And give people that hope, that confidence, and that individual responsibility back. We do that, by God, we're on our way and we take our country back.